Hi everyone, this is Phương. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how that a few simple commands can help you check if the web server has any vulnerabilities. From there, you can come up with solutions to protect the server from potential security risks. So these are some steps you definitely shouldn't skip. The first step in the penetration testing process is identifying the ports that the web server is running on. The goal of port scanning is to find out which servers on the network are running web services. That way we know where our target web application is running. The idea here is to send queries to each port and analyze the server's response. If a server is running on a certain port, it will return HTTP response. Typically, web servers run on ports 8443, 8080, and 8443. However, sometimes web applications run on uncommon ports. For that reason, we need to scan all ports to precisely identify the target's location. Now, let's move into the lab environment to see how this is done in practice. If you want to follow along, you need two machines, an attacker machines, in this case, an Ubuntu Linux machine, a target machine, in this case, a CentOS virtual machine. CentOS is a virtual machine intentionally designed to contain many vulnerabilities for the purpose of learning and practicing security. And this a real demo, okay? Now we will use some basic tools to detect web servers on the network. First, I'll use the curl tool. This is a very flexible tool that can retrieve web content. If you don't have it on the machine, use the following command to install it. Sudo apt install curl. Enter. Additionally, we should also set up the Nmap tool to check ports for the web server. Okay, for example, if I want to retrieve content from the Udemy website, I just need to type curl www.udemy.com. As soon as I press enter, the tool will download the HTML code of that website. Okay. However, curl has even more powerful capabilities. For example, if I want to perform a brute force attack on a website, I can send a port request containing a username and password. I just need to add the data parameter to curl command. Okay. However, our goal here is to find web servers on the network. Curl has very handy feature to help with this. I can specify an IP address range. For example, I can write an IP address with the last part as a number range, such as from 1 2 to 54. Curl will then attempt to connect to its address in the range, or I can specify a smaller range, such as from 1 to 20. Okay, when I run the command, curl will try to access its IP in the range. As you can see, most IP don't respond, which means no web server is running there. However, there's one address that returns data, which means a web server is active there. Okay, to make it easier to observe, we can improve the command by only displaying successful IPs. We use the W parameter to show success messages. Success remote IP output. We use the S option to hide error messages. Enter. Now, when running the command, we can clearly see which IP addresses are running a web server. Okay. Additionally, if we want to check servers running HTTPS, we just need to switch the protocol from HTTP to HTTPS. Enter. Okay. We can see that this server is running HTTPS. Okay. One important thing uh, to note is that in this example, we are only scanning port 80. If we want to find services running on other ports, we need to change the port range in the command. For example, if we know the target server's IP and want to find the web port that is active, we can change the command to scan ports from 75 to 80. thì chú remote port. Okay, enter. When running the command, we see which ports have an active web server. Additionally, we can use the Nmap command to scan and check what ports our web server has open and what vulnerabilities might exist. We run this command Nmap with high privileges using sudo. With option P, enter. Okay. Okay, you can see the analysis result of this command shows host is up. Okay, this means the server is online and responding very quickly. We can see the open ports include. Okay, this is a very common web server configuration. We can see the web server information is Apache HTTPD 2.4.62 CentOS stream. Okay. For this, we can gather enough information to create a report when accessing our web server. So with that a few simple commands, we were able to identify the web servers on the network. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos on security, DevOps, and reward infrastructure skills. See you in the next one. Okay?